Hello and welcome to Flippin' Pages. Today we're going to have a look at Harbinger Magazine. Now, Harbinger Magazine was published by Griffin Miniatures between 2003 and 2005. There are 25 physical issues and about 14 digital ones. The last issue was released in February 2008. Now, I'm quite a big fan of physical magazines, and it's even better if it's a miniature hobby magazine. So while many magazines these days are online, there's just something very, very comforting for me to have, a physical magazine to flip. So today, from the storeroom, we'll be flipping through Harbinger Magazine issue 15. Now, the cover art is taken from Rackham's Ragnarok game, which is somewhere in the magazine. A quick check tells me that these guys, Game Box Shop, is still in business. And yeah, a quick nod to them for buying some advertising space in this magazine. Here's an ad for Urban War. Now, Urban War is a game by Urban Mammoth. Urban Mammoth has seen run out of business. Actually, that's probably the trend throughout this whole magazine. You're gonna see a lot of shops or companies that have closed down. Well, it's been a while, but just know that some of these companies do not exist anymore. So here's the table of contents. The magazine proper begins with the news. So this was like a small nostalgia browse, as we can see Cry Havoc issue 3, which was at the time just released, and a slew of Rackham releases. Some news from MSB Toys, a Werner Clock sculpt, some hassle-free, some Aetherverse, Gamer's Quest, hell, even some McFarlane Dragons. Here we see the Harbinger of Pestilence. Now, Griffin Miniatures releases a miniature with every issue if you're a subscriber. The sculpts look really great. I bought most of my Harbinger from specialty shops, so I don't have any of these figures to show. Here's the Origins 2005 flyer. More news from Urban Mammoth, some from Mongoose Publishing. There's an ad from Figure Trader, whom I also found out are out of business, but yeah, a nod to them for buying some advertising space. Now, Confrontation Ragnarok came out around this time, and the magazine jumped in to promote it. Ragnarok moved Confrontation from a skirmish game into a large battle game. Here are the armies and a promo free figure for the first 3,000 copies. That's Drag Max Cyro. Moving along, here's an article from Graham Clark of Simple Miniatures. It gets into the lore of Confrontation's Wolfen of Ylia. This article is a great resource when you're getting into Confrontation at the time, as it helps the newbie get the feel of the world of Confrontation. The article is extremely meaty and also offers some tips on playing the faction. The next article is quite clever. This article takes a look at one miniature that not only found itself in two universes, but as the title suggests, also won awards for each version. There's the futuristic one, which won Best Individual Miniature at the 2004 English Golden Demon Awards, and the medieval one that won the 2004 Slayer Sword at the German Golden Demon. It must have been a very memorable year for the painter. This miniature is given a step-by-step treatment on the process on how he got the figure to where it is. Well, the basic steps. It also talks a little bit about using milliput and green stuff. Next up is the Cynthia Faction from the Urban Mammoth's game Void. This article takes the reader on a quick tour of the faction. A flyer for Salute 2005. And you know what? That's a killer door gift. I have not ever had a chance to visit Salute or any game convention or expo, so things like this gets me very, very jealous. In the Masterclass terrain section, we take a look at some terrain for HeroClix. It's a very simple build to try, and I like the fact that it's done for HeroClix, which is basically a clicking game or clicker game, but it deserves its own bits of terrain. Here's a look at Marthangul. I must pronounce that right. Marthangul from Reaper. This figure is still available for purchase on Reaper. So, yeah, head on over. Next up is a scenario for Hybrid. Now, Hybrid is a dungeon crawler set in the world of Confrontation. So here's a quick scenario. And then another step-by-step section. In this one, there's a painting guide to paint a hassle-free miniature. A space pirate. Arrgh. Step-by-step is great. And at the time, there were not many painting tutorial videos to watch. So this kind of articles were gold. War Gods from Crocodile Games gets a campaign recommendation. This is for the War Gods of Egyptus, which is Crocodile Games' first range. Now, campaigns are great, and custom building one takes time. So magazines like this, which offer campaign recommendations, can be super helpful. Of course, this is followed by an advertisement for War Gods as well. Here's one of those games I expect to find at a convention or an expo. This scenario uses the Ripple Wars rule set, and the figures are recommended to be sourced. Well, recommended from different ranges, which is great. War Games World. Again, a nod. Thanks so much for getting some advertising space. The next Terrain Masterclass teaches you how to build sets for the scenario. I thought this was very good idea. It offers, well, first offer the scenario with pictures and then show the reader how to make their own table to play the scenario. And then painted figures. Got Iron Metals, Rackham, some hassle-free, another hassle-free figure, another hassle-free figure. Some Games Workshop, 2 figures here. Reaper miniatures, Spyglass, Games Workshop, Freebooter, and Heresy. Another step-by-step article, and this time it's MSB Toys' miniature. MSB Toys is no longer in business, so these tips nevertheless are still useful. Although the miniature, I think you can get the miniature on eBay or from a second-hand supplier. The Spotlight section takes a look at Resolution by Amaranth Games. Then there's West Wind Productions, and at the time they released Chaos in Cairo. There's a free figure if you get a collection, they say. The magazine then moves to the review section with some Rackham, some Freebooter miniatures, some Apocalypse miniatures, hassle-free miniatures, and some Games Workshop. Very quickly, Griffin Miniatures' Aliens get a page. And then in the Art of War section, there are tips for building a Griffin army. And it comes, well, at the end of the article, there's a total cost and how much the army is going to cost you. A nod to Simple Miniature Games for taking some advertising space. Then there's a quick page for subscriptions. A nod to MSB Toys, Groundforge, and GameQuest, again, for helping with advertising. And also a full page Reaper, Warlords, and Iron Wind Metal Spellcaster advertisement. Finally, Harbinger of the Heart. Apparently only 1,000 were made, so if you have this figure, it's quite collectible. Yeah. So that's the quick flip. Now do let me know if you like this video. Let me know if you want to see more. If you got any comments, do put it in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't. And if you have, thank you so much. Oh yes, and don't forget to enjoy painting those figures.